Chapter 12, 48. Ying Wu's objective. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Lux Suppression, Heavenly Palace. Not here. Not here either. So strange, why did these Central Continent goo immortals vanish without a trace? South Desolation. Immortal was no longer as composed. His calm smile vanished. Sweat was covering his forehead. He continued to manipulate Lux Suppression Heavenly Palace, inspecting everywhere, but he could not deduce the location of the Central Continent goo immortals. Yao Huang was also dazed. He asked quickly, "Lord South Desolation, do I need to do anything?" At this time, Giant Sun Immortal Zombie's voice resounded. "This is Spaceless Tunnel." South Desolation. Immortal was even more shocked now. Central Continent's goo immortals possess this immortal killer move of thieving Heaven Demon Venerable? But Giant Sun Immortal Zombie denied it. No, they are just using the spaceless tunnel left behind by thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. Spaceless Tunnel. A space path immortal killer move. In the past, thieving Heaven Demon Venerable had roamed the entire world to look for a way to return home. Undeniably, he was the Venerable who had traveled the most in this world compared to the others. Thieving Heaven Demon. Venerable had covered almost every area in the 5 regions and 2 heavens. Thieving Heaven Demon. Venerable felt that a person was too small, and the Goo Master world was too big. Thus he created Spaceless Tunnel. This immortal killer move could shorten his traveling distance greatly and hasten his exploration speed. Thieving Heaven. Demon Venerable had gone missing long ago without a trace, but portions of his Spaceless Tunnel killer move, left behind in the 5 regions and 2 heavens, were still in existence even now. They seemed to be able to last forever. The 10 great ancient sects of Central Continent had never stopped researching Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. Because Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable was different from the other Venerables, he was an otherworldly demon. From this point, Heavenly Court would not ignore him. Spirit Affinity House possessed a Thieving Heaven true inheritance. They let Zhao Lianyun inherit it. This was a fruit of Heavenly Court's research regarding Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable. When Central Continent's goo immortals found this spaceless tunnel, they could use a corresponding method and shorten their travel distance. Then where does this spaceless tunnel lead to? South Desolation Immortal reacted, realizing the key to this problem. Giant Sun. Immortal Zombie answered, "I cannot find out either. This is the work of Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable after all." When Giant Sun, Immortal Venerable, was still alive, he had suffered a loss in a Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable inheritance. Giant Sun Immortal Venerable was the creator of Luck Path, but against Thieving Heaven Demon Venerable, he did not have any strong methods to deal with his arrangements. South Desolation. Immortal was silent. Yao Huang was stunned. What could they do? Giant Sun, Immortal Zombie answered, "Since they used the spaceless tunnel, we only need to wait for them to reappear." Yao Huang asked, "This means that Central Continent's goo immortals can appear at any place? If they appear in Northern Plains directly, what should we do?" Central Continent's goo immortals were in a distressed state and lost a lot of their battle strength, but they were still very powerful. 3 immortal goo houses and 3 rank 8 goo immortals, along with many rank 6 and 7 goo immortals, as well as the rank 9 love goo. If this lineup appeared in the base of any Superforce Huangjin tribe, the ones to lose would definitely be the Huangjin tribe. If these Central Continent goo immortals appeared in my Yao tribe, thinking of this, Yao Huang felt uneasy. "Please guide us, ancestor." South Desolation Immortal sought help. Giant Sun, Immortal Zombie chuckled. "My descendants have their own fortune. Fortune and disaster coexist. They can be interchanged. This is Northern Plains' calamity, but it can be turned into Northern Plains' blessing. My main body died long ago. This is not my era. Go and work hard for the future, regardless of failure or success. Turning the calamity into a blessing, that will depend on your actions." Giant Sun Immortal Zombie said that before returning to silence again. South Desolation. Immortal and Yao Huang looked at each other helplessly. Southern Border, Super Goo Formation. Fang Yuan was holding an ordinary goo material. Oh, he casually threw this goo material into the stove. The flame in the stove was burning, but it was emitting coldness instead. The fire inside the stove was very special. It was not orange. It was pale white and blue. This was a cold flame. Soon after, the cold flame extinguished all of a sudden, leaving no traces behind. From the stove, a goo worm flew out. This goo worm looked like a mosquito larva. It was thin and brown with a little green inside. It was wide and big. When it floated towards Fang Yuan, its body retracted and expanded. It was quite special. This was a strength path goo worm, obviously a mortal goo, but its name was pulling water. This made it a little special. Fang Yuan already had pulling water. It was a rank 6 strength path immortal goo, but this one was a strength path mortal goo. Pulling water, goo could emit a mysterious power to allow the goo master to manipulate water currents like rivers and streams. This pulling water mortal goo's effect was naturally far below the rank 6 pulling water immortal goo. But Fang Yuan was overjoyed. Why? Firstly, immortal goo were unique. If Fang Yuan used 2 immortal killer moves that needed pulling water immortal goo at the same time, what would happen? With mortal pulling water goo, Fang Yuan could use a great number of mortal goo to temporarily replace pulling water immortal goo in the killer move. Thus, even though a goo immortal may have the immortal goo version of a certain goo, that did not mean they did not need the mortal version as well. Secondly, Fang Yuan's attempt succeeded because his water path attainment had reached Grandmaster level. Pulling water. Goo might be a strength path goo worm, but it was also related to water path. All along, even though Fang Yuan was a strength path Grandmaster, he could not deduce the recipe of pulling water mortal goo. Now that his water path attainment level reached Grandmaster, he did not even need to deduce it. He could instinctively detail the mortal goo recipe. Everything happened naturally. Water path Grandmaster. Fang Yuan started to feel the benefits from many aspects. Not just goo recipes, there were also killer moves. Fang Yuan had a lot of water path accumulations in his 500 years of life. He had water path killer moves and water path goo recipes. Now that he recalled these details, he had a brand new sensation and deeper understanding. This was an incredible feeling that could not be described with words. Formerly, he was standing below the tower, observing the bricks of the tower. But now he was at the top of the tower. The sights were completely different. Even though my attainment level rose drastically, and it cannot be evaluated easily in material terms, my strength has grown immensely. Especially when I already had 5 Grandmaster attainment levels. The paths of these Grandmaster attainment levels can work together and influence each other, forming an even greater benefit for me. No wonder everyone went after Dream Realm so desperately in my previous life. Fang Yuan recalled, back then his focus was placed on his blood path cultivation. Of course, he had reasons for that. Firstly, Fang Yuan's circumstances were not good at that time. He constantly faced strong enemies. He needed great battle strength. Secondly, Fang Yuan knew nothing about dream realms. He did not have exploration methods like Unravel Dream. Exploring dream realms was a huge risk that he did not need to take. Thirdly, as Fang Yuan recalled his memories now, Heaven's will quite likely was interfering in the circumstances. When Fang Yuan was about to further explore his water path Grandmaster attainment level and see what benefits he had obtained, Wu Clan finally sent a rank 7 Gu Immortal over. This Gu Immortal brought Wu Clan's instructions, as well as the immortal Gu that Fang Yuan borrowed from Wu Clan. Fang Yuan quickly completed the trade, leaving the Super Gu formation. He flew northeast without stopping. Just now, the excuse he gave to Wu Yong was that he had personal reasons to return to Eastern Sea alone. Everyone had their own secrets. If it were an ordinary Wu Clan Gu Immortal, Wu Yong would investigate further. But this was Wu Yihai. Even if Wu Yong asked, he would likely not get an answer. Thus, he wisely chose not to pursue it. Fang Yuan went through the regional wall and arrived in Eastern Sea. He found a nameless sea area and placed his immortal aperture, resting temporarily. During this period, he stayed inside the sovereign immortal aperture and practiced his killer moves, getting familiar with his new immortal GUI. The closer he got to the crucial time, the more steady Fang Yuan was. He decided to use this chance to kill Ying Wui and eliminate this threat. He wanted to prepare amply. When Fang Yuan saw that the time was ripe, he stored his immortal aperture and prepared to move, executing his plan that had been set for a long time. Qiluk sensation. Fang Yuan had just activated this killer move when, out of his expectations, he found that Ying Wui and the rest had left southern border, returning to Eastern Sea. Good. It will be easier for me to strike in Eastern Sea. Fang Yuan had no hesitations. He flew to the sky towards his targets. Ying Wui and the rest were flying above the sea. Bai Ningbing was flying with them. Their relationship had changed. She was an equal ally now. A few days ago, Ying Wui took out Yang Gu, curbing Bai Ningbing's killing intent. Ying Wui used this chance to seek cooperation with Bai Ningbing. But Bai Ningbing was not the same as before. She expressed that she would rather give up Yang Gu to kill Ying Wui and Gang. Ying Wui spoke with a glib tongue. By listing the problems involved, he managed to convince Bai Ningbing to establish a new alliance agreement with him. Bai Ningbing got back Yang Gu. She knew that Fang Yuan had the upper extreme heavenly eagle and was a big threat. At this time, it was not wise to stay in Baishan Grotto Heaven. Because of the upper extreme heavenly eagle, Fang Yuan could easily enter the Grotto Heaven. If Bai Ningbing and the rest stayed in Baishan Grotto Heaven, they instead would give Fang Yuan clues to find it. At this time, Bai Ningbing looked at the blue sea as she frowned, transmitting secretly, Ying Wui, you said that you have a way to deal with Fang Yuan, but we are all the way in Eastern Sea now and are still traveling. What method is it? Say it directly. Ying Wui laughed. To deal with a rank 8, we need another rank 8 existence. Eastern Sea is not our destination. We are going to Northern Plains. You mean Shadow Sect's remnant force in Northern Plains still has a rank 8 existence? Bullshit. Bai Ningbing snorted in disdain. If they had rank 8 battle strength, why did they not use it in Yitian Mountain? Ying Wui smiled bitterly. The timing was not right. And the timing is right now? It is a great opportunity now. Northern Plains and Central Continent are engaging in battle over fortune rivaling heaven. By going to Northern Plains now, we are heading towards the center of the commotion, snowy mountain blessed land, taking fortune rivaling heaven, using the rank 8 battle strength to kill Fang Yuan and take back the sovereign immortal body. Ying Wui laughed as he said this, turning around to look behind him. He is coming.